Hey, welcome back. This is Web3 DJs. I'm John, aka Hofstra, Hofstra.eth on Twitter, with my co-host Sticky Finger Jones, Jones Sticky on Twitter. Before we get into it, today's show is going to be, we're calling it the weekly remix. So this is our first episode. We're going to be breaking down everything that's happened this past week. Sticky's going to be going through some of the projects he's looking at, what he's interested in, give us his thoughts, and then talk a little bit about the space and some of the stuff that's happened in our personal lives this week as it relates to the NFT market. So without further ado, Sticky, why don't you break out the projects you're looking at? Tell us why, do the data piece.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'd be my pleasure. And, to your point, it's like we do hours of research so you don't have to, right? Come join us and work smarter, not harder. But yeah, let's get right into it. So there's a couple of projects I have on my watch list right now. And this first one I'm particularly excited about. It's called the Possessed NFT. And so if you take a look into them right off the bat, you see that it's not your traditional NFT project. It actually has a little bit of animation in it. And so I think this is really made popular by the Invisible Friends. That was at least the first time I saw anything like this. But I'm really into this. And so, as you can see, it's got kind of two modes here, and I think they loosely refer to them as blessed and possessed. Blessed and possessed. And so, I think the first rule of this space is, we have a lot of first rules here, always take profits, that sort of thing, but buy what you like. And so, to be honest with you guys, I like this. I think it's really cool. And so that was kind of the first layer for me. After that, you can see that they have a pretty cool following, 125,000. That's definitely big in the space, but they have no Discord yet. So I'm actually a fan of that. I know it's not traditional to the space, but I'm not a big fan of Discords. And so the fact that I don't have to add another piece of noise to my regimen is a plus for me. The other thing that I really like about this project is the founders. They're both from London. One of them created a company called Hubble, which kind of helps in real life companies onboard into the work from home space, in lieu of COVID and everything like that. And the other one is like a media based company. But really, the point that I'm trying to make there is project completion, right? They have under their belts completed projects. And so, you know, as you spend more time into this space, there's a plus and a minus to everything, but one of the largest opportunities is that there is very low barriers to entry. And so oftentimes, people who are running projects don't have this sort of repertoire or haven't established this rapport professionally. And so it's really great to see that this project does have founders who, can get things done.
Hey, Sticky, where did you find this? What website did you use to find this project and break it down?
Yeah, so I actually spent hours on Twitter, and
I
just kind of
believe it.
going
I
through
believe
different
that.
spaces. Yeah, really, just kind of going through different spaces, understanding different projects. I want to say they probably. Oh, there it is. I'm sure this was it. They probably partnered with a project that I was involved in, and that maybe put me over the top. And so here it is. You guys know I'm a big fan for Tasty Bones, and so you can see kind of that collab that they have here. And so I'm sure that I don't know if that's where I heard about it. Well, I can tell you it's not where I heard about it initially, but I'm sure that this definitely refreshed it on my radar. And again, as you kind of scroll through the art, you'll see that they're all really cool. They have, I like their color schemes, the palette that they're using. And so, yeah, I'm a big fan of this one.
So when does this project drop, and what are you going to do with it?
Yeah, so mint date is to be announced, and what I'm going to do with it is also to be announced. I don't really have a plan here. Part of my strategy depends largely on whether or not I'm whitelisted for the project, right? Because if I'm not whitelisted, I don't have the same opportunity to make certain plays that I would if I was whitelisted. And so, to be frank with you, if I found something like this that I really liked, I'll probably hold it. I think one of the largest opportunities in this space right now is there's so much. I guess there's so much opportunity to buy brands that could be household names in the future, right? And who's to say that the possessed NFT isn't one of those? I'm not saying that it will be, but I think if I like it, I'm more apt to hold it.
So you're not on the white list. You probably got to go do a backflip, fly to Asia, come back, retweet 7,000 people, add
Yeah.
17 friends. So you're
And
not
that's
on the white
an
list. You're not on
understatement.
the white list yet. So if you get on the white list, this is one that you're looking at buying.
Yep, 100%. I will get this if I get on the white list. There's no
Cool.
question about that.
So what's your next project?
Yeah, so the next one that I am looking into, and forgive me if I do not pronounce this correctly, but it's called Figaro. And so Figaro, I heard about through Alien Friends, so definitely another one of those project collabs. One of the benefits of getting into, a good project is you learn about other good projects. Cool about this is, you can see the animation. They also have an interesting team. I will say, in my opinion, I think the largest benefit or the largest contributor to their team is this individual, Jessel Wiseman. So as you can see there, he's or she is established in the, I guess, pop culture space, right? Maybe might be a good way to say it, but she's done animation for Reebok, Doja Cat, Jack Harlow, Megan Trainor, Lil Baby. You guys can read, and so I think this is a really huge benefit for their team. And as the work speaks for itself. If you look at their video and scroll through their page, their attention to detail is second to none. And so I'm definitely really into this project as well. The hesitation that I have is, one, you can see, they have about 100,000 followers less. And so really if you just think about it at its base level, followers to some degree are their consumer pool, right? And it's not, apples to apples, but what I'm looking at here is they have at least 100,000 people, which would be 200,000 less eyes on it potentially. But that being said, I am still definitely excited for them. If I can get, I'm just going to monitor them moving forward. Not too much more to say about that, but check out the project, and we'll see if it makes the watch list again next week.
So on these upcoming drops, like where are they listed? Where are you finding like the calendar of new things coming up?
So, I'm actually going to flip this one back to you because when I first started in the space, you had told me to follow, there was a plethora of, you should check out XYZ, so on and so forth. And, I told you previously, I'm a lifelong learner. So I checked out XYZ, so on and so forth. And one of the recommendations you gave me, they used to put out a like weekly, these are the upcoming mints. And I don't think that project does it anymore. I forgot what project it was. I wanted to say maybe it was Bankless that was doing that initially. But I no longer have access to that. So this is really just kind of my hard work and spending time in the space to find these.
Yeah, actually, it was kind of like the NFT wherever it broke down rarities. Rarity.io is the one that I used
Okay, maybe that was
before,
it.
and I haven't checked in a while because I don't whitelist. I don't have the time to sit there and grind. But some people love it, man. I give it up. I give you props because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spend that much time. I'm going to look for projects that are undervalued, that are already doing something, that have been in the space for a while, where the price is cheaper, so that I can get them, hold on, and then wait for some sort of news announcement or some collaboration that pumps the price, and then I'll unload or not, or keep them. But
Yeah.
again, yeah. So I just want to say we're a new show. We just started it. This is our second one, so it's probably a little rough, and that's okay. But we would appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel. If you go on our Twitters at JLahoff, at Jones Sticky, and you gave us a follow, a like, told us that you watched the show. We also will be giving something away at the end of the show, which we didn't talk about. So that's just a little bit of a teaser. So stick around towards the end. If you do those things, if you give us a holler, you might get something real cool, and Sticky's going to show you what that looks like later. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I should have said that at the beginning.
It is all good. And yeah, to your point, it's a pretty cool piece and definitely a really unique. Well, I won't say anything more about it, but yes, stay tuned and you could potentially, it could be yours. So,
Okay, so those are the two projects that you had. I know that you said you had a couple on your watch list.
Well, so those are on my watch list right now. I do have technically two more. I'll review them real quick. Two more on my watch list. So I'll round out four total on my watch list, and then I've got two that I am going to mint this week. So I'll just run through the rest of my watch list real quick. I like this Third Eye Club. I don't know exactly where they are established. One of the big things that people are doing now is locked discords and limited invites. So I'm not whitelisted here either yet because I just got in the Discord. Something that's crazy. I don't know if you're aware of this, but people will post their Discord invites, and there'll be 1,000 invites or 500 invites, and they're gone in 3 seconds. I mean, if you're not on a PC, you almost have no chance of getting involved. But really, kind of the highlights for this project for me is I like the art. I think they have a really cool marketing campaign that they're doing. It's kind of mysterious. You see, they're not showing faces. One of their strategy is they're actually going to try and do a merch drop before their NFT drops. They're going to make it so that if you purchase their merchandise, you'll be entered into potentially getting onto their whitelist. I don't know if I'm going to go that route, but I like the art enough that I just might. And here we go again. Look, they collabed with Tasty Bones. Definitely not how I heard about this one. This was, interesting for me to see this collaboration, but I've liked it, and I kind of like this like grainy style of the art. I look for things that, if nothing else, I'll put a poster of it on my wall and say hundreds of dollars for that to someone. But yeah, I kind of like the ghouls, goblins, that sort of theme. Um, and I think they got a unique marketing campaign. So the
Okay.
last
Yeah, that's Third Eye. What's next?
the last one on my watch list is the Humanians. And so I'll run through this one quickly. Again, I don't have a ton to say here except for the fact that I like the art. I think it's pretty cool. Haven't really seen anything like this. The way they're incorporating things, and if nothing else, they stand for something. So as you see, they're a socially conscious NFT project, and they're attempting to bridge art and utility while bringing awareness to body dysmorphia. I did check out Odd One Out Labs. I would encourage you to kind of do your own research there. As you can see, they're based in Indonesia. Um, I was personally confused because it is impressive if you look at their website. They have a ton of accolades and awards, but their platform is that they're an NFT company, and so I was just trying to understand, how they received all these awards already. Maybe it is really awesome, but yeah, just do your own research on that piece. I am planning to try and get into this project because I like what they stand for, and I think it's sweet. I think the art's cool. But yeah, these are the four on my watch list. Let's go ahead and review them real quick. We've got Possessed, we've got Figuregoat, the Humanians, and Third Eye Club. But let's talk about what's going on this week, where I'm actually going to spend some money. So on the 8th this week, oh, I guess I could have just checked out their Twitter bio. This project called Droplets will be minting, and I wind up getting whitelisted here.
Nice.
I heard about them as just like somebody who I follow retweeted them, and they wound up on my feed. Um, I will say I was really, really excited for them at inception. With all of the DMCAs going around, and for those of you who aren't familiar with those, first of all, I'm not a lawman or anything like that, so I can't explicitly state what a DMCA is. But for lack of a better phrase, what it is it's just saying you copied me, and it's a legal way to express, yeah, that you were copied, and that you would like the content to be removed and no longer be listed for sale. And so that in lieu of that, Droplets kind of changed their direction. They did not receive a DMCA. Let me be explicit about that. But they felt that their initial art was too comparable to another project. So it changed a little bit, which I wasn't a big fan of. But, the mint price is cheap. It's going to be 0.065. I like how there's a limited supply. And again, one of the largest things that people are trying to do, that projects are trying to do right now, is give back. And so you can see here that they're going to support a clean water charity, and that's called 2535 Water. So yeah, they'll be minting April 8th. They've got about 110,000 followers. I think that's, definitely a great following.
Hey,
Here's
I
some
got a
more.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you're going to be spending money on this particular project? correct? And this is
I
going to go
am.
into your portfolio. And I know on the last episode, you broke down a project and you had it. And I don't know, maybe you can tell us what happened to that project. Do you still own them?
I do still own them right now. Yeah. So they actually released some more information. I'm glad you asked. So if we
So
check
this was
out,
going into the yeah, this was going into the vault.
right. So basically what they're going to do though is they're going to airdrop a hero collection to anybody who owns one of their villains. And so, I did own one of them previously. I got this one at a really low price. I would like to check out the floor and see where the floor's at right now.
You bought
But
this one under 0.1, correct?
yeah, I bought them at 0.04.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I actually, so if you really want to know an update, I did have an offer on that piece that we bought for 0.06. I elected to not take it because, my profit would be like 0.01, and I actually liked it, so I figured I'd hold on to it for that piece. But what I really like about this project is I'm not going to play it now, but if you check out their marketing stuff, it's really unique. It's totally different than anything else I've seen in the space. And I talked about earlier how the developers on this team, worked for Disney for a long time. And if you look at any of the content that they put out, like it really shows. It's totally unique to anything else that you'll see. And so, if nothing else, I guess you can say to some degree, I have drank the Kool-Aid. I'm not gonna, go put a ton of cash into the project, but I'll hold what I have and, wait to see what they have in store. Ooh, the floor price has
Oh, it's
dipped a
about the
little
same.
bit. About the same, but yeah, it has dipped a little bit, so, that's a hesitation. I'll put it here on camera.
But
If it
you
dips
know
to
what though?
0.3,
That's like if you watch these YouTube shows, some of these people are on there pretending like they're just making tons of cash. They don't show you the stuff that they're losing on. And that this is a real world example of a project that you're in. What's 0.04 was a couple $100. So you're
sure.
not deep into it, but you've got this experience now. You know what's going on. There's some stuff that's keeping you involved in the project. And for $200, you can go spend $200 on all kinds of stuff. But to be in a community, to learn new stuff, to get some cool art, get some free stuff down the road, $200, you can spend $200 a lot of other ways that aren't as that aren't as good.
Let me tell you, I spent $200 yesterday and this morning in way worse fashion. So yeah, you are absolutely correct about that. And so here's the other thing: is what I mentioned is that I want to be in the project because they're going to airdrop me more pieces. So I am not expecting the new pieces to reach the floor of, their original collection. But if I can sell the new piece for half of the floor, then it's like, that's all profit. And so it allows me to make my profit threshold on the original piece a little bit lesser than what I actually bought it for. So say I sold the airdrop piece for 0.15, then if I sold my piece that I bought for 0.4 for 0.3, I still make a 0.5 profit, right? And that's excluding gas and the percentages that the founders take. Blast those founders. But yeah, and so again, there's so many different ways to approach the same opportunity here, right? And so I'm just leveraging different ones in different situations, and that's a great example of that.
Cool. Well, I spent money in a different way, and I spent about 10 times what you spent, but it's not necessarily even on NFTs. It's actually on education and being in the community. So I bought my flight. I booked my trip to VEECON. I don't even own a VEECON, but you got to be there. Like parties and these people that are in one project, they're in like 10 projects. But Gary Vee's like the man in our industry. He's like the NFT king. The guy, whatever he touches, for whatever reason, it works, and he's such a big influencer that people listen. So I want to be there because even if I'm outside and I can listen in the hallway, you better believe I'm going to be there because I want to meet people. I want to see what people are into. I want to hear what's upcoming and get that alpha before anybody has it. So I committed. I did the Grant Cardone style. I committed now. I'll figure it out later. I booked my flight, and I booked a flight and a whole trip to New York for NFT NYC. And I was at that conference last year. So my week's been a little bit different on how I've been spending my time, but yeah, I just want to share that I'm so pumped. I'm so excited that I got tickets to these things.
Definitely, and share a little bit more about VEECON. So when is it? Where is it at?
Yeah, if you want to pull up my screen, I've got it right here. So it's in
I think
Minneapolis.
you have to share your screen.
Oh, sorry. Again, we're new. Bear with us.
Yeah, and that being said, if anybody else is going, make sure you let us know. Love to connect with you guys.
Okay, so VEECON is in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is May 19th through May 22nd. But I mean, just on the cover page, Steve Aoki, yeah, Logan Paul, Snoop Dogg. I don't know who. I guess that's FaZe Banks. But basically, it's the who's who in the NFT world. And the way I look at NFTs is NFTs are a mashup of a bunch of different things. It's a new genre that has not existed. So if you add fashion, technology, finance, music, street art, streetwear, anime, I mean, you name it, you throw it all into one thing. And the way I look at these NFT projects are like, they're like bands, little bands forming. All right, you're a dev, cool. You're an artist, cool. I'll do the promotions, boom, let's get on it. Then you got a business. And
100%.
being a business owner and an entrepreneur for over 12 years, the energy and the stuff that's happening in the NFT space right now is like nothing I've ever seen. I'm 39. I haven't been around as long, but in my lifetime, I have not seen a new genre, a new form of art, a new form of investment happen like this. And the reason that I'm so passionate and I spend so much time in NFTs is because it's never been done ever. Like this is brand new. And I just get excited talking about it because I spent, I don't know, easily a 40-hour work week after work learning, talking to
Easily.
people in Twitter spaces and all this because it's something that I'm extremely passionate about. So that's VEECON. The other one I was just talking about is NFT NYC. Now, if you were in the space last year, when NFT NYC happened, it was like the Woodstock. Yep, to me, this is Woodstock. It was the premier event, the premier coming out party. And again, I had to be there. I'm not in an NFT project. I'm not affiliated other than owning projects, but something told me I got to be there. And so I booked my trip, and it was one of the best experiences I had last year because I went to the Gutter Cat party. I rode up in the elevator with Jay-Z. We talked RumbleCongs, which is a project I was in back then. The Creatures through a whole epic event. Gary Vee, I went to like 3 of his things. I went to a fireside chat with Beeple and Gary Vee about 15 feet in front. AJ Vanderchuck was there. Like you name it. Everybody was at this event, and it was 3 days in New York, and that town is just awesome in general. So it was part vacation, part, learning. And it was funny because I sat next to, I think the guy was like YouTube's one of the gaming directors, and we were sitting at this fireside chat listening to somebody, but that's the kind of person that you would get. And I asked the guy, I said, well, what are you doing here? And he goes, well, I'm just learning. And I said, he's like, what project are you with? And I said, well, I'm not, I'm just learning. And so I gave him like a ton of information. The guy was like, oh, thank you so much. And when you go to these things, that's the kind of crowd that you're going to get. You're going to get people looking to get in the space. You're going to get people that are doing projects. You're going to get athletes, celebrities, all that type of stuff. But I couldn't miss this. I was like, I want to see what it looks like this year with all the stuff that's going on. And I think that's a good segue into the second part of our show, which was talking about, what happened this week. The show's called The Weekly Remix.
Yeah, but before you get into that, I did just want to make a point. So you and I had freshly met maybe a month or 2 months before NFT NYC, and I remember connecting with you on Twitter, and honestly, largely the reason I'm in this space is because of you documenting your experience throughout that trip. I remember you posting pictures of every picture in New York City looks great, right? So everyone's instantly jealous of that. But 2, I remember you posting pictures. Did you get one with Gary Vee? I was thinking about that this morning.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I didn't want to wait in line, but there were so many times he came out after events
Okay.
and just chatted it up. He's a cool dude.
But yeah, I just remember, you documenting your trip, posting all these different pictures of the cool stuff you were doing. I remember you like meeting up with people for lunches and all this sort of thing. And yeah, I was like, that's awesome. I want to be a part of it. And that's just from the secondhand viewer perspective. I don't even know if you knew that, but yeah, largely the reason I dove into this space is because following you through that trip.
Oh, FOMO is real, and I can't hit at every event. So NFT LA just happened this last week, right? So not affiliated with NFT NYC from what I understand. But Mark Cuban was a big person that put that on. But in LA, you're gonna draw all the celebrities, just a whole different crowd than you're gonna get in New York. And I FOMO'd because I bought tickets to it, but I couldn't go because I had my daughter that day. And it was, I just hadn't planned for it. And then right before that was South by Southwest. And I was like, oh my gosh, like all these projects are throwing parties and you just got to be there. Like if you're not there, you're not going to, you're going to miss stuff and you're going to hear about it. But being that this is like, we're not even a whole year from when all the buzz happened last year. Like Gutter Cats, I want to say came out in March. I could be wrong on that, but
yeah, their year anniversary hasn't happened. I do know that.
Yeah. But when everything started just going nuts was in August, and then from August to the end of the year was just absolutely insane. And it was so cool. It was like, I don't know. And so I FOMO'd on these other two projects. Now I'm like, you know what? Commit now, figure it out later. I booked the trip. I got it on my calendar. I'm going. And
yeah, you nailed it. Professionally, what I do is data analytics, and so I go to data analytics conferences. And I remember after going to my first one, my thought was like, wow, I don't know how anyone who's a data analyst could not go to these type of conferences, right? I learned so much, much information is thrown at you. They call it like drinking out of a fire hose, right? Considering the amount of information that's coming at you. But the point that I'm trying to make is I left that conference feeling like if I don't attend this every single year, I'll be left behind, right? And I think the NFT world is no different, right? If you're not going to these conferences, if you're not being a student of the game and continuing to learn and inform yourself, you'll get left behind. And not like, you're going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, but maybe hundreds of thousands of opportunities that you could have, with a little bit of information known about beforehand. So yeah, definitely.
And in this space, it's like if you don't pay attention for a week, I mean, you could be left behind. I mean, if you're trying to make money in NFTs and you're trying to flip, and I don't care what anybody says, if you're not doing it as a full-time job, it is very difficult to get on whitelist. It is very, very difficult to understand what the market is doing, because this market moves when somebody knows some information and the right people get on a project, and then all of a sudden, you're seeing it on OpenSea and you missed it. And if you don't catch that run in one day, you're going to either pay the top and then potentially that falls down, or you're just going to miss out on an opportunity. So yeah, 100% on that. And that, with that being said, this is what happened this week. This week was nuts. Like, I feel like every week is nuts. I mean, a week in the NFT space is like a year, because we're talking about last year. I talk about it like this nostalgic thing, like, oh, you had to have been there. It's not even a year. But that's the reality of the NFT space is because it's a new technology that's emerging and so much is going into it. It's moving at a speed that I've never seen before personally. And yeah, so with that said, one of the things that was big was VEECON. Everybody's talking about VEECON, right? There's some book, I forget the name of the project. It's like book games, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Where you have to have them, and then there's some sort of game involved where if you burn them, you get this and that. But the friends that we have that are in VEECON, they started FOMOing hard. I mean, 2 of them bought tickets this week, and they were pooling their money together to buy tickets to VEECON. And
wow.
Yeah, and it was cool. Like, one of my buddies, he didn't have enough money, and so they were like, all right, if you give me, a half ETH more or an ETH more, then we'll do this and I'll give you this. And, they made this barter, but then they both are going now. And how excited those people are. Oh my gosh. Like, one of them, I just talked to before we got on this, Rowan in Back Alley.
Mm-hmm.
He bought a whole shirt from like one of the NFT artists. This custom like jean jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so pumped. And I love seeing that, because it's like, I get it, dude. I get it. I'm already planning what I'm going to rock at NFT NYC
for sure,
VEECON, and potentially SneakerCon, which is another little preview of something that we might do in the future with our show. But so VEECON being one, right? And then we had the Gutter clones. And so I know Gutter Cats, I mean, this is your this is your project largely, but so you had the gutter cat that you won, which I think the floor has gone down a little bit, but you
Yes.
also got a clone. Did you clone your gutter cat?
I did not. I did
So
not
it's still
clone my
juice.
gutter cat. Yeah. So, in total transparency, my kind of logic is that ideally, everybody else in the entire world will clone their cat except for me, and I'll be the one person left with the juice, right? So that's in a perfect world. Obviously, that won't happen, but I am still hoping that more people will clone their cats than will hold their juices. The largest opportunity is though, like, we all saw what happened with the mutant apes, right? They were kind of the first ones to do it, at least the mainstream ones, and so a number of people mutated because they weren't thinking about the fact that these juices might hold value due to natural supply and demand in the long run. But now the space has grown. Like you said, 1 week is like a year. It's been a year. So, it's been like 52 years in the NFT world. And the business model has been laid out. And so I'm not the only one that's starting to think this way. And so we'll definitely have to see how that plays out. I'm actually trying to pull them up right now. So it looks like about 3,200 people used their juice. But I will say it's kind of tough to hold on to it right now when you look at the art.
It's so dope.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen
This
now.
might be the best clone second project, or I don't even know what you want to call it, but the art on this delivered. And not every project has done that, but people are tripping out about the gutter cat clones. And you could only clone the cats now. So I have a rat, and I had a dog, I had a pigeon, I had a rat. I sold 2 off for the dower Darsals that I have right now. But I'm waiting because I am going to clone my rat the instant it comes out, because these guys are dope. I mean, look how sick these guys are.
Yeah, they're really cool. They do look really cool. I'm just thinking, so you look at this floor price. At one point the cat juices were like 1.1, maybe even higher, but my last thought to sell the cat juice was at 1.1 and the clones were at 0.87, and I was thinking, like, should I just do it? Should I just sell my juice at 1.1 and grab a clone, and then I'll take that like 0.3 profit. uh and so to see the floor price now below 0.6 breaks my heart a little bit, because I'm thinking, imagine had I sold 1.1, I'd be able to buy 2. But this brings me to a great point. I think the number one thing you should never do in the space is think about what could have been. That's courtesy of my buddy Thumper. He said he just tries not to think of what could have been. And I elaborated on that, or I thought about that for some time. And it's so true, because that's when I start to make mistakes, thinking about what ifs. I've got to stick to my game plan, be logical about any decision that I make, and then just be comfortable with it. It might not go my way, but if I was strategic in making the decision, then it's like I should be comfortable to make it again. So that's where I
Yeah.
try to stand
Well,
at.
and I think you can merge, right? Like if you have a gutter cat and a gutter juice, you can add that, kind of like they mutated the bored apes.
Yes.
So
And
maybe
so
that's
I'm
a better play. Maybe holding on to it and doing that with your actual cat might turn out to be more valuable.
Yeah, to hold them as a package, something like
Yeah,
that, right? The OG and the clone. Yeah, I've thought about that a little bit as well. But I think for now, I'm gonna sit back, wait, and try to learn a little bit, see what everyone else is doing,
smart.
and then
Everybody
make my
that I
play.
know that has done the best are the ones that have held.
Oh, for sure,
Everyone
100%.
else is, and they just sit back and they don't have that stress, but they've been rewarded so much for it. Like people that have bored apes, they got mutants, they got dogs, they got coins, they got, the little vial. Like if you just held, you would have got all this free stuff, and some of those are 15 ETH.
Right,
15 ETH times.
100%.
That's another thing. ETH was ripping this week, so normally you see when ETH is pumping, the prices usually go down.
Right,
And
right.
I don't know if that's been the case this week. So that's actually kind of cool to look at, because normally you would, oh, why is this down? But everyone's taking their money out and trying to buy Ethereum. So that didn't happen, which was a good sign. So the next project I want to talk about, which has been the talk of the week, is Azuki. I'm so sick of hearing about Azuki, and partly it's because I didn't get it. But this thing, it's at 27. Can you share my, or I'll share my screen. 27.42 right now.
Oh
So
my
a lot of
God.
people are talking about Azuki being the new rival to Bored Apes. There has not been another project that's done what Bored Apes has done from a number of total NFTs and, price and all that stuff. So Azuki's is definitely on the radar. And I think it's cool because competition is good.
Yes.
Competition makes the projects better. It makes the industry, any industry, better. So I like it from that perspective. The second perspective I like is everything that I heard this week was about the team that founded this were professionals. And I was thinking they must have raised money. They must have had a very good game plan. I know that the people that put it together were like legit, either ex Google or ex Microsoft. So I'm sure they brought on like super top level talented developers, because the way that I've heard how the drops happen and the execution on this project has just been awesome. And I'm following it from a distance. And I don't really know anybody that has it other than people that I've heard in Twitter spaces. But everything that I have heard on why this project took off is because it's quality, is because the people know what they're doing. And in this space right now, what we are seeing is quality is starting to win out. Last year, you didn't have to be that good. You just had to get to market and hit it at the right time and have the right people pump you, and you would have made a bag. Now people are like, I might not do that, with 50, 60 projects coming on board. And if you don't have certain things, a lot of people aren't going to buy them. And so I like that the bar is being set higher for quality projects, because I hope that it weeds out the junk and the BS that's in here. So I think it's good for the industry. But Azuki was the talk this week.
Yeah,
And
I had a couple of thoughts there. So, first, I looked at Azuki twice. I've looked at them twice. The first time I looked yesterday was at 25 ETH, and then I looked last night at 11 or 12 p.m. my time, and it was at 32 ETH.
I know,
And so yeah, I was thinking
insane.
like, oh my gosh, why didn't I just take out a loan, for 100 ETH, buy 4 of them, flip them for 100 and what is that, 24 ETH, and make that 24 ETH profit, pay back the bank. But yeah, so that was my thought there. The other question I had is, did you hear anything about their airdrop?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I heard, what I was hearing people say was that like it was a pile of dirt, and everyone was saying, really think that it's just a pile of dirt. You clearly don't understand who we're buying into, this sort of thing. But that I heard weird sentiment around the airdrop. I didn't know
So
if you knew anything about that.
yeah, so this is why I think the project is doing so well and why people are so hyped on it. Because the thing is, yeah, you think it's a pile of dirt, but just wait till you see what the utility is. And from what I understood, in NFTLA, WIZ KHALIFA is either involved in the project or owns them.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a concert. And at the end of the concert, he apparently just said, check your wallets. And then everyone just like went bananas, and they got airdropped some stuff. And I don't know if it was the pile of dirt. There's like 2 or 3 other things right now that are connected to Azuki. But one of the airdrops that came is, let me find the name of it, is, I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but it was the airdrop that happened at NFTLA, and the way that they timed it and the execution on it was just, from what I heard, insane. And so they have a couple of other things. I think one's a DAO token, and then you've got the dirt, and then you have the secondary piece, which is, the name I can't figure out. But
Okay, nice.
But anyway, that's they keep hitting you like right when you think that it's not cool. It's like it just blows their mind, and they're stepping the level of just what can be done and the speed at which it can be done
Yeah.
much higher than what people have seen. So
And
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say also on top of that, I mean, like a perfect segue to what you're talking about that goes through every single piece of their project. And one of the other things that I saw that was blowing up for Azuki was their merch. I don't know if you saw this
Oh my
bomber
God.
jacket, but
People are
yeah, it
probably
was
losing their
going
brains trying to get
crazy.
this.
Yeah,
That's what
it
I'm
was
saying.
going
Like, you got to have that because then you can flex when you get to New York or VEECON. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I got something. I got a 40 ETH project, son. Yeah, that
crazy. It is
merch is
crazy.
dope.
But yeah, my thought with the kind of merchandise has been like nobody's creating merchandise that's going to be able to go into your everyday shop anyways, so they might as well make sure that it's not just high price but high quality, and it seems like Azuki's definitely hitting it on the head there.
Well, but that's why the NFT space is so cool. Like, if you know anything about sneaker culture is like you got to be on Saturday morning on the app and get it. You know, when you get an NFT, you're a part of a community, like an exclusive community. So you're not going to be able to just go buy that jacket.
Right.
You're going to have an NFT that allows you to buy that, and they're going to be limited runs most likely. And the people that are getting them, because I tried to do this week. I'm wearing an Atom Bomb Squad shirt, right? So I researched all Atom Bomb Squad. I've been wanting to get in this project since it started, and I could have picked it up cheap. Like it was like under 0.2 for the longest time, and I didn't. It's at like 0.5-ish right now. But I wanted to have some cool merch. So they've been doing collaborations with like Dead Friends, with Smilesverse, and the gear is dope. And you can't get it. Like I went on eBay to try to find this. And
Yeah.
if you're trying to buy one of these like Smileverse Atom Bomb Squad, it's easy $300 just for that jacket. And there's like two,
Crazy.
you know?
Crazy.
So
Yep.
yeah, that's the other part why you get into them. And you have such a connection with this stuff that it's like, yeah, I'm not selling that. Like, and guess what? You don't have one.
Right.
and
100%.
then people are like, yeah, but what is it again? Like you walk around thinking it's the coolest thing and nobody knows what it is.
Right. Yeah, that's just last night we were in a really crowded area in downtown Dallas, surrounded by people watching the Final Four outside, and I was just looking around and like, man, none of these people know how deep in the gutter I really am.
Dude, you're walking around like with your head up, like, yeah, what's up? What's up? You know,
Yeah.
and you're like, what's wrong with this guy? That's funny. So the last project of the talk of the week, if you will, is Murakami Flowers. So we talked VEECON, clones, Azuki, and Murakami Flowers, and there's a couple of others that popped up on here. But when you're talking big projects that shot up the leaderboard, this hasn't even like I don't know if it's minted out yet. It certainly hasn't revealed yet. I signed up for on the website. If you go on Murakami Flower Seed, I guess. But look, it's already at 9.8.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so you could get into a raffle. So I filled out. I went on the website, connected my wallet, filled out the raffle, and you basically get like if you win one of these, you can mint it for like 0.1 something. Anyway, I entered into a raffle or a lottery so that I could mint one. And I think they're doing that, which I think is really cool because the average person, I mean, 9.8 ETH, it's done nothing yet. But Takashi Murakami is like the OG of the OGs, and he's such a dope artist. He's worked with everybody in the space, all the big brands, all the big rappers. Like you can't touch one of his pieces for under $1 million. Maybe if it's like a print or if it's something else, but like a legit Takashi Murakami piece is going to cost you an arm and a leg. And I don't even know if you could just buy one. You might have to get it at auction or something. I've loosely followed Takashi Murakami. My brother wanted to get a piece. He used to have this. There was a gallery in Vegas that he could have bought one for $4,000, and he kicks himself because he didn't buy this Murakami piece. But he's just blown up. And so anyway, I got on this lottery, and I just pulled up like a thing to talk about, you know, all of his stuff. I mean, he's so just research him because he's a significant person in art, and you have to believe that if Takashi Murakami is doing his own project, he did the CLONEX collaboration, and if you go on OpenSea, just the collab that he did. Let me see if it's up here. CLONEX. Wow, CLONEX just dropped
Yeah, man, I'm shocked by this. Really, I don't know if I'm shocked because of the project, because of the price, because of the amount of volume that's already been traded, or because of the fact that I saw you guys posting the link to get into this raffle. I didn't know what it was about. I had an opportunity to learn and better myself, and I just was like, I didn't even bother looking into it, man. I was like, what are flowers? Like, I thought I'm a fool, and I will be entering the raffle as soon as we get off this call, if
Yeah,
it's
look.
still open.
So CLONEX, Takashi Murakami, 19 ETH. You know what's crazy? And I didn't realize this. I was just scrolling down. I had to move to the 30-day to see where this is at. If I go down to the 7-day, look at this. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I must have just missed it. It's number 3 on here. But that's Takashi Murakami's entrance into the space. And CLONEX, I mean, these are dope. Like, they came out, and I missed this project. I could have bought for 2 ETH for a long time, and I missed this one, and now I'm not getting this anytime soon. So anyway, so that's Murakami, and just overall another great week, another absolute awesome week in the NFT space, and I'm excited to see what's going to hit next because we still have ApeCoin. I filled out my KYC for the Bored Ape. Who knows what's going to happen? I think it's their metaverse. But you had to, it was like a credit application. I had to give my driver's license, picture of myself, and then I had to get approved. So, I mean, with the prices, it's probably as much as buying a house. So I can imagine, what it is. But we've still got that coming up. There's, there's so many projects hitting the stuff that you talked about here. So overall, I'm excited. I'm so bullish on this space. And yeah, sorry.
No, I was just going to say I had one more thing to talk about. So I do have one more project I'm minting this week that I didn't highlight earlier. And so let me just talk about it quickly now because it's
really. So are you on the whitelist on this one?
I am whitelisted for this one as well. And so this is called KREEPY CLUB. So they're minting on the 9th for 0.69 Ethereum. So what's really cool about this is if you look at the top, you can see, it might not be easy to tell here, but the styles are totally different. And so there's 3 pretty cool artists in the space. Junkyard, he's the one that I guess I'm the closest to. Not like we're close, but I follow him the closest, if you will. Tomorrow Man, and then Creepsure. And so what they did is they're 3 friends, and each of them are going to make 3,333 of these.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's really cool. And so here, you can see that they're totally different. So here's like Tomorrow Man's. He's the eye. Here's Creepsure, this kind of guy, and then the black and white rubber hose style, I guess might be a way to describe it, is Junkyard. And so yeah, it's really sweet. I'm gonna be minting them this week, and my strategy for this one, believe it or not, this is the first project I will ever be buying into just because I like the art. And it's not that I like the art so much that, I'm going to go out of my way and change something up. It's that I've never had the opportunity to buy something I like because it was always for business, right? Just due to my position in the space. So I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to be awesome. And yeah, it's my first opportunity to buy something just because I like it. So,
no, that's awesome. So we talked a little bit about doing a giveaway, and again, we're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff. We're a little rough around the edges right now, and that's okay because you got to start somewhere. But we want to start delivering quality to the people that are watching this to maybe show that this can be done a little bit different. And just try some stuff that maybe isn't being done in the space right now. Not that giveaways aren't being done, but that's future stuff. But right now, you've got a giveaway. Super awesome. I don't even know where you find this stuff, man. The stuff that you find, I'm like, where did you find this?
Yeah, unfortunately, if you ask my fiance, she'll tell you exactly how I found it, and that's through hours of hanging out with my friends online. So definitely an opportunity for me to improve there. But as you suggested, I came across this really cool project called Gutter Mud. I'm a big coffee drinker myself, and new to the gutter. When I saw something that was combining the two, I had to hop on it. And so, yeah, basically what it is here's my actual post. The mud has made it to Dallas. So yeah, they're just a coffee company. I tried their coffee for the first time today. It is delicious. You should definitely go check them out. Here's an example of their coffee. But today, what we are going to be giving away is one of their gutter mud mugs, and this thing is
Love it.
sweet. Yeah, I got two of them. It's a sweet design, black, real sturdy. It's going to hold a lot of coffee for you. And so, in order for you to win this mug, we are going to post a tweet on the Web3 DJs account, and all the information to win this mug will be there. So yeah, definitely make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Head over to our Twitter page to find this information, and yeah, this piece could be yours.
So at a minimum, you've got to subscribe to the show, right?
At a minimum, you have to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then yeah, all of the details will be in the tweet though.
And how long is this going to go for?
I don't know. I think we were bouncing those ideas back and forth. I think let's just call it the day before our next show, and we'll announce the winner live on our next show. How's that sound to you?
That sounds awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're at about 50 minutes. If you watched all the way to the end right here, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're new in the space and you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out on Twitter. Jones Sticky, Jayla Hofstra. You'll see our dot eats up there. But please reach out. When you're new, this stuff can be overwhelming and it can be discouraging because you see people making money and sounding like they're all smart. Well, you got to get a basic understanding. And there have been people that have helped us along the way. And that's one thing that I really want to do is give back and teach other people that are interested in this. There's no stupid questions. And if people are going to bag on you because you don't know it, I want to say something bad, but don't worry about it. I will help. Sticky will help. Ask us a question. Doesn't matter if it's stupid or not, because you have to get the fundamentals down before you can really start navigating the space. And there's a lot of scams, a lot of bullshit that happens in the NFT space. And if you don't have people looking out for you, it's easy to get wrapped up in that. And that could be the most discouraging thing that can ever happen is, $500. If you save up and you go and, click the wrong link or do something that is very obvious to everybody else, and it happens to you, which has happened to both of us, by the way, sometimes multiple times.
Yep.
And it sucks. And that's why I like the level of stuff gaining in this space is because that stuff just, it's happening because people, they don't know yet. But reach out to us and we're happy to help. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you watching. We love NFTs. We're passionate about this. We hope that you guys find that too. So thank you so much. Have a great week. We'll be back next week for another wrap up.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us. You guys be safe out there, and we can't wait to see you next time. Peace.